Good morning, good morning, good morning, my friends. This is Rosa, hopefully your favorite real estate broker. All right, my friends, I figured it would be good to go live this morning. I'm actually at a house first thing here on Sunday morning, a little bit chilly outside, and getting ready to do an inspection with my client. So for those of you who are maybe not familiar with inspections, and how this whole thing works, I figured I'd go over it with you a little bit here and kind of give you like some of the basics. So first of all, when do you do an inspection? Why would you do an inspection, and how does that get done? So do you have to do an inspection? Well, of course, the answer is no, but as a real estate professional and as someone who cares about my clients, we always pretty much definitely recommend it. It's usually a good idea to make sure you understand what you are buying. So yes, we recommend that you do an inspection. Do you give that inspection to the lender? 99.9% of the time, no. Because that's not the lender's business. This is personal between you and the home and understanding what needs to be done. And then we can take that inspection, and depending upon the purchase and sale agreement, we can take it and use it as a negotiating tool so that you are able to buy the home that you are expecting to buy. If there's something major about the house, that would be something that we would definitely want to talk about, unless you understood that that's what you would be buying, right? Good morning, Mr. Dan Korea. Thank you so much, my friend. So, we are going to shortly, in a few minutes, the client will be here along with the inspector. And usually where we first start off is walking around the exterior of the home. Now, I'm not going to do that live on this home because I don't think that would be the appropriate business etiquette thing to do. But of course, what we're going to be looking at is the roof. Right? And what is the useful life of the roof? Because if the useful life of the roof is not usually at least 3 or 4 or 5 years, then you might have a problem getting a mortgage, especially if it's a government related mortgage. Right? We're going to take a look at the soffits. We're going to take a look at especially the windows and around the windows, because in many cases you will find rotted wood around those windows, and that could get pretty costly to you, or you can see signs of potential wood destroying insects there. So we want to make sure that we take a look at those. Of course, we want to take a look at the gutters. And we want to see, well, how is the water? Is it sloping away from the house, or is it coming back into the house and creating any kinds of floods or water settling in the basement or in the yard and so forth? We even take a look at things as the driveways, which we know there are quite a few driveways that they have some cracks in them. So a lot of it is going to depend on what do you, the buyer, feel comfortable with. Right? We're going to take a look at from the second we walk into the home. Well, that threshold, a threshold is very important because it tells you a lot about the house. Has there been settling, right? Is there termites underneath there? Are they coming in from the sill? A lot of times you'll see that from there. Are there problems with the steps, the front steps? Is there a railing? It's something as simple as that. Is there a problem with the front door? Is there a security issue and so forth? And then as we walk through the house, of course, we're looking at some of the major things that probably people are familiar with, right? Heating, we want to make sure the heat works, but what is the useful life of the boiler, right? Does it have corrosion? We had one a few weeks ago where from the exterior, the boiler looked great. Right? It didn't seem that there was a problem, and the heat was working. But guess what? The firebox inside the boiler was deteriorated and was basically crumbling, right? So without an inspector, we might not have seen that. We have had issues with electrical where we're going to take a look at the exterior electrical meter, and is there rusting? Is the main cable fraying? And then when we go in the interior, well, let's take a look at the circuit breaker box. Does it have circuit breakers, or does it have fuses, right? I mean, who remembers those old days of, you know, you got the blow dryer going, the TV going, the microwave going, and you used to have to run downstairs and change the fuse. Now, I don't know if you have to go through that, but I had to go through that when I was younger, and I used to have to, you know, unscrew the fuse and screw in a new fuse. So it used to be kind of crazy. In today's world with the circuit breakers, it's a lot easier. But we're going to take a look at the circuit breaker box. Is it rusting? You know, is it falling apart? Are there, they call them double taps? Is it aluminum wiring? You know, what's going on with that particular circuit breaker box? That's important to know. The hot water heater. Of course, it's easy to say, oh, let's turn on the hot water and make sure that that's working. But what's going on inside that hot water heater, right? Is the filament, is that falling apart? Is it exhausting correctly? Because, you know, that could be a big safety issue. If you're getting carbon monoxide and different types of exhaust coming in your home, then that could be a problem as well. Hey, Patrick and Kathleen, thanks for watching. So, you know, we're kind of just talking about walking through the home and the different things that we'll look at. Some of those things will be cosmetic. Some of those things will be very important to the buyer, and others won't be. And so what we like to do is we like to have fun with it, number one, right? But we also like to be serious and walk the house with the inspector. And we ask that inspector questions. And sometimes, you know, depending, hey, Hilda, thanks for watching. You know, sometimes it could get a little bit tricky. Like, you know, sometimes it's a matter of opinion where, you know, someone who's an inspector, they might say, well, this is really, really important. And I would never buy a house that has, let's say, wood shingles. I would never do that. But then there are buyers that's what they love and that's what they would want to buy, right? So sometimes it depends on opinions and what you like and what you don't like and so forth. But ultimately, we are going to get an inspection report from that inspector. Okay, and so when you do this home inspection, you can use anyone you want, but what we strongly recommend, that especially if we're going to use it for negotiating purposes or to make sure that it's a valid inspection, is that you're going to want to use a state licensed inspector. And of course, if you're working with me as my client, you know, I have a list of 2-3 different inspectors that I think have done a great job in the past. Of course, I can't be responsible for their future performance, but you can use whoever you want as long as they are a state licensed inspector. And there's quite a few great guys out there and women who are inspectors. So use whoever you want, and usually they're going to get us a report within a day or two. The buyer is going to give that inspector permission in order to give me a report so that I can sit with you, the buyer, and we can review it. Right? And sometimes we do it in person, sometimes we do it on a video call, sometimes we do it on phone, and we'll both have the inspection report in front of us, and we'll review it together, and we'll talk about, well, what's important to you? Do you feel comfortable? Because you as the client are the boss. You have to feel comfortable with that particular inspection. You have to feel comfortable going forward. Otherwise, especially if you have a good real estate agent, we're going to have contingencies, right? We're going to be able to withdraw or negotiate that particular inspection so that you can feel comfortable moving forward. All right, my friends. Well, the time is going by, right? I think I see my buyer actually driving up to the house right now, and I'm sure the inspector is going to be here any minute as well. So it is a cold day out here. I hope that you're having a marvelous morning, that you're celebrating this beautiful day, that we are on top of this side of the soil, I guess they would say. And I just want to say God bless you. This is Rosa signing out, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.